Well, hi everybody and welcome to my shop, and I'm carrying on with the Nordmende Elektra radio, and we're just getting ready to do an alignment, but I thought I better check a few key voltages, especially around blocking capacitors in the output. Now, after the last video, off camera, I operated the radio for a few minutes, and I wish I'd gotten this on video. Suddenly this very loud roar came out of it. Startled me so much, I just cut the power to the radio. I have not had it switched on since then. I really don't know what happened. It sounded to me like something shorted out or a capacitor failed. I don't really know. It just kind of it scared me so much I just shut the power right off. It was very loud. So I'm going to turn it on again, and maybe it's going to come right back in that state with this huge noise coming out of it. I hope not. If it does, though, I won't be able to operate it. And secondly, I've connected this meter to the grid on. This is the output tube. It's a dual package output tube. It's two tubes in one. So one of them is this triode. So right now I have the meter monitoring this grid, and I'll also want to monitor grid number 8. Let's just see where that is in there. It's a 9-pin tube. So pin number 8. I'm going to put a clip lead on there. I would put a clip lead on there if I knew where my clip leads are. Where are they? Okay, I found one. See if we can get that onto number 8. Okay, so those are the two grids. What I'm looking for is leaky blocking capacitors. And this is set positive 50 volts. You know, a grid you're going to expect a little bit of a negative voltage relative to the chassis. But we'll let it go. We'll see. It's really negative relative to the cathode, and I'm measuring to the chassis right now. So that should give us enough, because what I'm looking for is a high positive voltage. Well, I'm not really looking for that. I mean, that's not what I want to find, but that's what we might find. Okay, well, because I learned that the symptom with this radio is you turn it on, it works for a while, and then it goes quiet. And that's often the symptom of a leaky blocking capacitor. And you know what, in fact, I'm going to switch this, my voltmeter lead, and we're going to monitor the grid on pin 8, which is the grid to the output portion of the tube, right in here, because this is more likely a problem area. Okay. There we are already. Volume's down. Okay, let's give it a quick little safety check. This is the antenna lead here. Just clipped on the antenna lead in case you're wondering. Okay, so I think we're all set. Let's switch on. Okay. Here comes, you can see, well, you can't quite see it. There's the line voltage meter too. Okay, there's the plate current starting. Ready for the noise. No voltage showing on the grid yet. There we can see some positive voltage beginning to develop. Here comes the hum. Well, I'm not seeing too much on the grid there. I'm going to leave this for a while. Sounds like a power supply hum, right? Well, it's changing. That could be a defective tube also. I'm watching the voltage very, very carefully on that meter. Let's take a look at the other grid. Could be a lot of that hum is coming from that clip lead, eh? And we'll pop that off. Yeah. Okay, a lot of that hum was just this clip lead. Clip lead.
terminé, ça c'est certain.
Bah oui, les prix Nordmende qui sont bêtes.
Il n'y a pas d'autres problèmes, lui, en ce moment? Peut-être.
Question de priorité des fois. Question de priorité. Rapidement, qu'est-ce qu'on suit à la saline?
Bien sûr, c'est une nouvelle culture.
We're going to have to let the set run for about 10 minutes here. See if that voltage builds up.
Nobel de littérature, première canadienne à remporter ce prix. Je vous invite à rester des nôtres à 9h.
What's that?
Un compte rendu de ma collègue
Popping.
Wallet qui va en parler dans le bulletin d'information.
Oui, d'ailleurs, beaucoup de portraits d'Alice Munro ce matin. Et puis, également Edith Piaf aujourd'hui.
Eh bien oui, il y a 50 ans, le 10 octobre, Edith Piaf disparaissait à 47 ans des suites d'une rupture d'anévrisme. On la célèbre aujourd'hui. Pour bien comprendre l'actualité, nos journalistes sont sur le terrain. Ils sont sur le bon du bar. Je vous invite à être des nôtres.
Le midi 30 Ontario, du lundi au vendredi. Ici Radio-Canada, première.
Now, I'm using a meter that, like all meters, almost all meters, draw a little bit of current. And it's just possible the meter is drawing down the voltage on the grid. It's not allowing it to build up. So what we'll do is we'll disconnect. Give it a moment. Oh, look at that. The meter didn't move a bit. The tiniest positive voltage there. So I don't think we're looking at a leaky gap in the output. So we'll let it operate. Okay, so I've been listening for about, well, close to 10 minutes, I guess. I haven't noticed any drop in the output volume. But there is a funny hum thing going. Seems to be a low, warm hum that then changes to a grittier hum, a hum with more harmonics in it. But I don't know if you can hear that or not. Grid voltage hasn't changed. We're still on current limiting here, so we're not giving it the full force of full B plus in that. So I'll let it go another 10 minutes. we're just listening to the hum. Here's the grittier one. I think it's related to my meter connection here. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, well, it's nothing then, just the quality of the meter connection. Let's turn it back up a little bit. Okay, we're about 10 minutes later. The buzzy hum is coming from my meter connection here. The grid voltage on the output tube has not gone up. Output volume has not changed either. The only unusual voltage I can find is a very high voltage on the grid of the ECH81, on the triode portion of the ECH81. That voltage there, on that grid, is like minus a lot. Let me measure it again. It's pin 9. Oops. Pin 9. Okay, minus 8. Pin 1. Plus 55. Pin 1. Yeah, pin 1 is one of the screen grids. Pin 2. Pin 2 is the grid. That's at minus 1 volt. So I'm not finding anything here at all. Okay, our next move is to raise the voltage, so we're going to put it up on jump it up from, it's just under 100 now. Give it full voltage. There we go.
C'est plus le classement qui est intéressant, et ce qu'il faut savoir, c'est que dans ce classement des 100, la marque Coca-Cola a toujours été en tête pendant les 13 dernières années. C'est la première fois qu'Apple est numéro 1, arrive en numéro 2 Google. Donc,
other than getting just a wee bit louder,
la prédominance de ces entreprises technologiques, ou en tout cas issues du web,
didn't seem to make much difference, did it? Grid voltage still low.
Quelque chose, parce que Coca-Cola, c'est quand même, avec Google, avec Apple, il y a des produits, c'est sûr, mais c'est tout un service virtuel. Ouais. Tandis qu'avec Coca-Cola, on se mettait quelque chose derrière la fenêtre.
Well, neither the problem that the owner's complaining about or anything is really showing up here. Maybe it's just on the FM band.
Qui concurrencent certaines séries télé. Donc ce sont des marques qui ne sont plus uniquement perçues comme des marques web. Et
okay.
Dans mon point aussi tout à l'heure, c'est la place que les technologies ont pris dans notre vie.
On consomme plus de notre iPhone qu'une bouteille.
Let's try the FM band.
On est plus sur l'exposé.
That was pretty loud. I don't know. Sounds pretty fine too. I'll let it operate. Okay, so we had the radio going for almost half an hour. I left the room for a little bit, and wouldn't you know, when I came back, it had gone quiet. So something is not happy here. If we take a look at the grid of the output tube, it has gone up a little bit, hasn't it? Yeah. Watch that meter and listen to the sound here. Well, that's a positive voltage of about 2 volts. 1.5 volts positive. Then I see that funny wobbling. I'm going to try a different voltmeter here. Here's the reading on the other voltmeter. Plus 1.3. The radio's... You know, it doesn't sound to me like the output stage has gone quiet. That sounds like one of the radio stages has gone quiet. Let's see what we can find here. Yeah, it really doesn't sound like the output is getting weak. Sounds like something higher up in the radio. So let's try those 2 grids on the ECH81 again. So grid 1. Wow. That doesn't look too good, does it? So that's showing 60 volts on grid 1. Grid 1. Oh, that's okay. It should be grid 2. 2 and 9. Excuse me. Grid 2 and 9. 2 and 9. Here's grid 2. Slightly negative. And grid number 9. Also a little negative. So that's not telling us too much there. And if we try the ECL 80, no, the EBF 89, EBF 89, the grid is number 2. Grid is number 2. Slight negative. Okay, going back to the output tube, it's grids, because it's a dual tube, grids 1 and 8. 1, grid 1, nothing at all, and grid 8, a slight positive. What is grid 7? Grid 7 is a cathode. There's a big cathode bypass capacitor down there, 100 microfarads. Maybe that's the problem. Wouldn't expect it to go this quiet. So on pin 7 we should see positive voltage to chassis. There it is. The radio's gone completely quiet now. And that's because it's not tuned right. That's full blast now. And that's about where we had it last time when we started the test. Can't hear a thing. So there's definitely something causing a fade out in here.
Like so many, it's productive. And people think, well, geez, we're on TV, we're stars, it's a good paycheck. And this could be, a retirement right now. If there's ever such a thing, like 20 kids or 19. But is this something that America's lapsed into, like somewhat of a freak show, driven by, and there have been movies made about this.
Oh, there is a phono input here.
Come up with a title where everything is done for the entire purpose of what's on television.
Long wave broadcast. No, there isn't.
Sacrifice your principles, your value system.
No phono input. That must be a...
some kind of decorum, or maybe a limit on a family size. Just it's like the Octobot.
What is that?
The point and purpose of her having all those kids, it was narcissistic, vanity, and wanted to be something she wasn't. So what way to do it? Well,
must be some kind of speaker output.
Some doctor, some unscrupulous guy at a clinic in California accommodates her. And she has her 15 minutes of fame. It gets tawdry when you realize you can't put food on the table, so she's got to go into porn. And I think she got 50 grand or something for some kind of a one-off. That's America.
Okay.
I'm wondering if after, the TV people alone should have a decent...
It seems to affect both the AM and the FM signal.
And if you want to have kids on your own time, go ahead, fill your boots. But to do it for the point and purpose of just keeping a TV show...
Could simply be the output tube. Let's I have some replacements. Let's replace the output tube.
Between 19 kids and counting, there are now 2 small people that have got another small
Whoa, did you see that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I turned the power off to the radio, and as it faded out, it came back to life. That's curious, eh? So it could still be the tube. Let's pull it out. Put on my hot tube gloves. Put in the replacement. They didn't test this tube, so okay. Safe. Volume down. Too many surprises here. Power on. Plate current starting. Here it comes. Lots of output. I think it's a tube.
How do you think the media will play this one out? And do you, have you got compassion or condemnation for this woman for chirping at the CEO
Just to show you.
at this meeting at the Union League Club of Chicago? Let's get some more thoughts.
Lots of volume there.
Star 640 on cell, or you can
So we'll let that run for a little bit.